Father Perry, for 24 years you have been the English-speaking priest at Notre Dame Cathedral, and you hear about these Paris attacks which happened this month. This is not your first experience with the attacks on that country. Talk to us first about being there for the first attacks.
Well, I'll tell you, it was hard to be here for this attack because I know what it was like to be there for an attack. I can't remember how many years ago it was that the Saint-Michel metro station was attacked with a nail bomb, and I mean, it was just horrible. And that was just the metro station, and it was just one bomb. It was a pipe bomb in the metro station. I happened to be in the cathedral, which is just 2 blocks away, and because it was underground, we felt nothing.
Sure.
But you could feel the ramifications as the people just kind of ran to the cathedral for shelter. The cathedral was closed down, though, because the cathedral is the prime target in Paris. I'm surprised they haven't hit it yet, but the security around it is just incredible. This time I was here and found out about it just like every other American found out about it. And I mean, it's a horrible feeling to be. I mean, I know Paris really well.
It's
I
like
love
your
Paris.
second home.
Paris is my second home.
Yes.
You know, I always joke that, you know, my other church is a cathedral in Paris. I was in Paris when President Kennedy was killed. I know what it's like to be away from home when there's a tragedy. I was away from home this
during
time.
This tragedy.
This
Have
tragedy
you been in
Paris.
touch with parishioners? Have you been in touch with the Archbishop? What are they telling you? How are they progressing past this horrible tragedy?
Well, having had our experience in America to look back on, and this is how the French Revolution got started. They looked at our revolution. They used us as an example. They immediately went into the mode that we went into after September 11th, and that is, we have to go back to normal. And so there were pictures in the paper of people going on purpose out to the cafes, getting coffee, getting wine, and sitting there and really thumbing their noses at the terrorists and saying, you're not going to destroy our life. You're not going to destroy our lifestyle. But meanwhile, they're quaking in their shoes. And at the same time, their hearts are breaking.
I can relate.
Yeah,
Again,
we
we
all
all
can.
can relate.
We
We
all
all can
can.
relate. Do you have plans on going back anytime soon?
certainly
You
am.
have an adopted family there, you say.
I have an adopted family. I have godchildren there. I have 2 weddings to go to this summer, and a baptism to do.
And it must go on.
And it will go
we
on.
have to
It will
have
go
to
on.
return to
It
that
will go
sense
on.
of normalcy.
We cannot let terrorists destroy our lives,
Amen.
period.
Amen. You do a lot of work, obviously, at Notre Dame, and you do work here at Our Lady of Refuge, but you're also part of a committee, a very important committee, promoting Catholic-Muslim dialogue in the diocese. Father Perry, please tell us as much as you can about this committee. This is a committee began by the Bishop DiMarzio.
By Bishop DiMarzio. And it's a committee that's been very hard to organize because you don't know where to go. You don't know which Muslims to talk to. Pakistani Muslims are different from Albanian Muslims because there is no Vatican for Muslims. And so you can study as much as you want about Sunni Muslims, and then you get the Shiite Muslims, and it's what the problem is in the world right now.
Distinctions people don't understand, and
Right.
I think that's why there's such miscommunication with regard to radical Muslims
Well,
versus...
one of the biggest problems is with the media. How often have you heard the word Arab and Muslim be interchanged?
Too often.
Much too often. Much too often. And they're not the same.
How are they not the same? Tell
Well,
us,
the
Father.
largest Muslim country in the world is Indonesia. They're not Arabs. And so when we're looking at Arabs, we're saying one thing, but not all Arabs are Muslims.
When you talk to your parishioners, Father Perry, when something like this happens in Paris and they say Muslims are responsible, you talk to your parishioners, you're part of this committee, how do you reconcile these thoughts, these preconceived notions, and how do we move forward?
See, my parish is fortunate because a third of my parish is Pakistani Muslims, and they're our neighbors. We go to their stores.
We embrace them.
Yeah. I mean, this past Sunday night for Sunday afternoon, we had a Thanksgiving service at Our Lady of Refuge for the 15th time with Muslims, Christians and Jews praying in Our Lady of Refuge. Church was almost full of people coming together, Jews, Christians, and Muslims, praying together.
How do we become part of this committee? How do we help?
Show up.
Just show up to Our Lady of Refuge.
Show
It's
up.
that easy.
Show up.
Should everything be that easy, it would be such a great
Show
work.
up. Here.
Yeah.
Wear this.
Wear the pin.
Wear the pin.
Call attention to it.
Last year, just a year ago, a little bit more, a little less than a year ago, on a snowy night, a whole group of people came, including great people from the tablet, came out, and we stood at Borough Hall,
Okay.
and we stood with this, and we stood with the sign saying, we stand in solidarity
All right.
with the Christians who are being persecuted in the Middle East.
So it's about getting involved.
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right,
Just
Father
stand and
Perry,
witness.
I'm stand and witness. Thank you. Perfect last word. I'm sorry we're going to have to leave it there, or we're going to have another interview,
We'll
which is
have
where you
another
have to come
interview.
back.
There's
Thank
more
you.
to say.
Thank you so much.